Silas Jones, you have exceeded my wildest expectations.
This is my wife. Go see.
How ethnic.
Great work on the Cullen case, kid. It was crucial we had you in on that one. Don't let these protests get you down. I'm an old man who doesn't know much, but I know the law. I see a lot of myself in you.
Have you even considered why you were assigned this case?
The first African-American partner at Macmillan, Milton, and Lomax, Mr. Silas Jones.
That kid could have been my son.
Good afternoon and welcome to My Harlem Portraits, the show that aims at shedding a light on the fundamental contribution of African Americans to the building of this country and on Black excellence. We are going to talk about a subject that is absolutely important for Harlem, the Harlem International Film Festival, which is an annual film festival that started in 2005. And it's going to happen this week from May 5th to May 15th. And I cannot see a better way to present this festival than to talk with our guest today, who is an actor, a writer, the co-founder of Black Men Films, and a fierce Blacktivist who helped start many Black Lives Matter initiatives in Broadway and in the acting community. And he is a long-time Harlem resident like me. So welcome to Roderick Lawrence.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
I'm very happy you could make it. I know you're gonna be very busy this week presenting your film at the festival. You are a creator, a lead producer, and the star, alongside with Cara Young, who is a Harlemite, born and raised here, of a multi-award-winning Silent Partner. It's a short film that is making its Harlem debut at the festival on May 7th. Tell us about the equipe that you put together and the various selections your film received, because you've been in many festivals and you had quite a few good results.
Yeah, we've been blessed. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. This is very cool. We've been blessed. We are now headed to our 12th festival. Harlem will be our 11th, and we have one coming up in LA in June. We've won a few awards, 3 Best Short Film Awards, and also a Best Director Award. Huge blessings. We got some really amazing feedback, and yeah, we're just, you know, all of it is a blessing. All of it is just, we're grateful for that feedback that we've gotten.
And your troupe and your equipe, they are all from New York, so you're coming home with this festival.
Yeah, almost everybody is from New York. You know, our director, Aristotle Torres, he's from the Bronx. Our DP, Eric Bronco, he's from the Bronx. Cara Young, my co-star in the film, she's from Harlem. I've lived in Harlem for 10 years. And our crew, I mean, we have countless, basically everybody from the cast and crew is either from New York or lives in New York. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And I know that your film also features Emmy Award winner Michael Park, who did Dear Evan Hansen. It has been written, directed by the Bronx Zone and Harlem International Film Festival alum Aristotle Torres, and the New York City native Eric Branco, as you just said. So we are really home. You are coming home.
Yeah.
You have an impressive career that starting with the graduation from Baldwin Wallace Conservatory of Music. So you are a musician and you have performed across the country and on many New York stages. Tell us about this, how you went from musician to acting and directing and writing, And also, which are your best memories of what you did? Because you played Simba in the Lion King National Tour, you played Ramses in The Prince of Egypt, Otello in John Leguizamo's Otello, the remix, and Floyd Barton in August Wilson's Seven Guitars. That are pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's been a journey. So actually, I went to Baldwin Wallace for music theater, so for acting and singing. But I did play instruments like growing up. So I played guitar, piano, and drums before I was acting, and then I got into acting, went to college for acting and music theater, and then I've kind of done a combination of all of it. You know, I've done shows where I played and sang and acted, and I've done shows like recently I've been doing a lot of plays, and then, you know, kind of transitioned into TV and film. So do a little bit of all those things. But yeah, I mean, I've had some beautiful experiences around the country and different shows. Simba was awesome. Obviously, Simba was a dream, and my family got to see me in that. Ramses was really great. Othello was here in the city, so that was really cool. I actually didn't get to go on until the last week. We were supposed to close, and I was understudy for Othello, and I got to go on the last week, so that was really dope. But yeah, I've been fortunate to play some versatile roles and you know, be all over the country doing it.
What made you decide, because you co-founded this Black Men Films. What made you decide to do that? What are the main reasons of that?
You know, well, so the film came, the idea of the film came before Black Men Films even did,
Oh,
you know.
okay.
Yeah, so the idea of the film came, and I did have a want for making more art around Black male mental health, and, you know, to make narratives truthfully and unapologetically about our lives and about the things that we go through. So I knew that I wanted to continue doing that. When I wanted to continue to do that, Selma, my producing partner, she asked me if I had any interest in making an actual production company out of it. And the first thing that came to my head was Black Man Films. I was like, if Black Man Films is available as a business income, we'll take it. If the website, all the things, then we can do that. And if not, then I'm not sure. And it was available, and that's how we made it a production company. Now we're working on a couple of other projects, and you know, going to our 12th festival here. But yeah, it's focused around you know, telling and creating Black stories around things that the community needs stories about but doesn't focus on, you know. So so we started with Silent Part.
Here. You star in the film as Silas Jones, who is a very successful Black trial attorney working in an all-white law firm. And you defend, you take up a very controversial case in which you defend a white woman who murders a Black teenager. And after this, you win, and you are offered to become partner of a law firm. Tells us about what this entails for your mental health and for the relationship with your wife, who is played by Cara Young in the film.
So, you know, the film focuses mainly on microaggressions. So, you know, what it highlights is the effects of everyday microaggressions in the workplace, in your general life, in, you know, in all the situations that you deal with as a Black man, as Black men and women in this country, and what that toll has, the effect that it has on your mental health, that it has on your relationship, that it has on all those things, you know. So we've highlighted the glimpse, you know, at Silas's normal day, but he kind of realizes through the microaggressions and through the other things that are going on, you know, that he's really taking, you know, what is the price of getting your dreams? You know, what is the price of achieving your goals? And he's realizing the lumps that he's taking, and he's just trying to figure it out, you know, in his head and in his heart, and with his wife, Cara, who you know, what's worth getting all the things that we want? How much of this is worth it?
This is something that happens every day in this country, right? For a non-white person. So I saw a declaration you gave that it's very, very interesting because it reflects the reason why I'm doing this show. Because at a certain point you say to non-Black Americans, I'm not American, I'm Italian, I live here. This piece is in hopes that they see themselves and have an honest revelation of what part they play in this world, which is not an exaggeration, but a mirror of our reality. Are you an ally or are you an oppressor? Do you see us as less than? Do you see us? Do you respect us? Tell me about this. This is very important.
Cool. Yeah, I said all that.
I read it. It's signed by you.
So I get asked often, you know, what do you want people to come away with from the story, or how do you want them to feel at the end of the story? And I always answer the question with the fact that the story is for us, right? The story is, the film is for Black people. I mean, it's for everyone to enjoy and it's for everyone to learn from. But like the heart of it is for us to feel seen and heard authentically. On the other side of that, which is where you pulled that quote from, is like, what do I want them, you know, white people or whoever our allies may be, or whoever's on the other side of that, what do I want them to take away from it? And I want them. And that's where that quote came in, was I want them to see themselves in the story, because everybody, you know, at the beginning of the story, every in most stories, you see, you know who you are, you know, in that story, you know, what kind of part you play in that world when they're realistic stories. And I think that everybody sees themselves somewhere in it. And then you can kind of really analyze, you know, you go on that journey with that character, you see what those people are doing, how they're aiding to the trauma, how they're aiding into the everyday microaggressions, how they're aiding into the you know, the mental health and the craziness that is going into working there every day. So if you can see, if they can see themselves honestly, then like, that's how, you know, that's how we start conversation, and that's how we make change. And that's how it's like, well, you know, is that comment that you thought was okay, you know, not okay, and how do you change your perspective? How do you change yourself to not be saying those things anymore, you know, to not be on that giving end of that trauma? And I think that's the gist of where that quote was. Yeah.
What do you think this movie will tell people outside of the US who don't necessarily live that kind of contradiction?
Yeah, I think that, I think it's very specific as to where we're talking about outside of the US. You know, Europe has plenty of similar problems. You know, like there are a lot of places with plenty very similar problems towards people of color, towards darker skinned people in their countries. I don't like, we're all, you know, talking about what's happened in Ukraine and all those things. You know, the Africans in Ukraine can't get away. You know, they're not letting them into their safe spaces. They're not doing that. So obviously these things are happening in a lot of different places that aren't just here. So that's a cool question, because I haven't been asked that before. But I hope that in the places that have the same issues, that they see them and then they recognize them, instead of recognizing it just as an American problem. Because yeah, Americans are pretty outright and pretty blatant with their fascism and their racism and all of those things. You know, it's a America thing. But all these other places have similar issues. So I hope that they see that and they, you know, do the same thing, kind of figure out how we can reform these issues.
Being European and having lived all over the place, because that before moving to the States, I worked for European Parliament. So I was,
Cool.
stationed in different European countries. The difference that I see here, and that's why for me it's so important to make people outside of the States and white people in the States understand what's going on, really want to see it, is that in this country, the racism is against the people who built the country.
It's real.
You built the country
So real. Yeah.
for free.
Mm-hmm.
In other places, the people who come from abroad, they come because they want to come. They are looking for a better life. They are looking for escaping conflicts and wars and not being able to put food on the table for their family and so on.
Yeah.
So they are not citizens of the country. So the racism is a different kind of racism. As I see it, I can't say because I don't live it on my skin, but as I see it, is that it's more of an economic racist. You come here, you take my place and so on and so on. Whereas here, you don't take anybody's place, that's your place. This is your country.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely true in some places. I think that a lot of it, like, if it were so economic, then it wouldn't be so pigment oriented. So, like, if it were so economic, then it wouldn't be very specifically against, a certain shade of people. Like those shade of people in, I like in other countries, they accept people of their shade from other places to go there. They're not like, oh, you're not from here.
Yes and
Whatever
no.
to you.
Because for example, I lived in Luxembourg and I met Italians whose fathers had moved to Luxembourg that told me stories that relate to what a Black person coming from the South can tell. Like they were working for very little money. They came by themselves there, as I said, as immigrants, but the way they were treated was as terrible. Of course, they were not slaves, but it was a kind of economic slavery. So that's why I'm saying and they were not Black, they were Italians, they were Irish, like here, when the Irish and Italians came, they were treated like, I've seen things written, no Blacks, no Italian, no Irish.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking that the reason why it affects me even more here is that it's against the people who have really built and made this country,
That's
give the
definitely
country
true,
the
yeah.
possibility of being as wealthy as they are.
Yeah, no, that is very true. People speak on it all the time. I just watched some interview with Gabrielle Union. She was on the Met Gala carpet last night, and
Yeah.
she has red beads in her hair.
Uh-huh.
And she went on a rant about how the red beads are to represent like the Black people and who built this country, the blood of the Black people spilled in this country that built this country. And she said, like, it's just something that that people need to be reminded of every day, that they so easily forget.
And who was this who said that?
Gabrielle Union.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's very,
yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
interesting. Very interesting. So tell me more about your future project about this film and then other project that you have with your company, Black Men Films.
Yeah, so with this film, we are, there's some awesome interest from folks to expand it in many different ways. And we are open to all that because we love the story and the team that built it so much. So we're hoping that we can make something like that happen in the very near future, whether it be a feature film of the entire thing or whether it be a limited series about the story. But we're looking at everything and, taking it all in and kind of figuring out what's the best move to do that moving forward. other projects for Black Man Films, I, really want to continue to expand on dealing with Black male mental health and Black female mental health and therapy and trauma and, doing all those things in a light that we don't see them. When you do it between a Black lawyer and, summa cum laude wife, and you do it, these thriving, brilliant Black people, people look at the stories differently instead of like always like telling our trauma through some kind of like pits, because that's just not all that we are. So we are, I'm looking at, I don't want to give too many things away, but I have some cool issues that we're dealing with. One with the epic mortality rate and like issues in Black female pregnancy in this country and postpartum and all of those things, and another one, a whole another issue. But yeah, we want to tackle these stories that aren't being told, that are happening every day in this country, and we want our people to feel seen by the stories that we tell.
That is very, very interesting, especially now what happened last night with the...
Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, this country is going backwards in everything.
Yeah.
To me, it's appalling. To everybody, it's appalling.
Yeah. It's.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's a complete disregard for human life and female bodies and all gendered bodies. That's what it is. All of it is an attack on choice and like preference and like control over your body and over your being, and it's disgusting, like appalling, degenerate behavior. I mean, I could go on about it, but when we talk about like not only the Black women numbers when it comes to like mortality during pregnancies and like all of these things, the way they're treated is astronomical. But in general in this country, that I think that we have the highest mortality rates during pregnancy, and all of our numbers are just through the roof. And so then you force birth control, or you force something like on these bodies that already are going through things that obviously aren't helping our children, helping babies. But man, it's unbelievable. And I read something earlier that said, you can't stop abortions, like you can only stop safe abortions.
Yes.
Right? Because if you get pregnant and you don't want to be pregnant and you're not supposed to be pregnant, you're not going to keep, that baby's going to grow, whether that
like
baby
they used to do it in the old days when women died.
Yes. So it's just really,
and
it's heartbreaking.
I think it's absolutely incredible is that if this opinion will be turned into the decision of the Supreme Court, they want to stop abortion even for teenagers who have been raped, who have been subject of violence. I mean, it is the most incredible thing that has been happening. I mean,
yeah. And the crazy thing is they don't even, they don't want to stop those things because they're, senators' daughters will not stop having abortions. Right. And these doctors and these lawyers and these tycoon billionaires, their kids will continue to not have babies. And, so it's not like they want to stop it. They want to take control and power from anybody who they can, because they know that no one can take that from them. So it's disgusting.
And then also what's going on with the voting rights that has been really dismantled little by little, laws by laws and different. Let's talk about that a little bit. We have 3 more minutes, so we can develop this discourse if you want.
Yeah, so I mean, this has been happening for forever. This has been happening for forever. And the system has been for a long time working the way that it was set to work up, which is against us. The system is not broken. The system has never been broken. It has just worked against us until we progressed and got into places and positions where we could kind of either maneuver the system or change little things in place so that we could give ourselves any kind of fair chance. The closer that we get to any kind of fair chance, they realize that the system is broken or not working in the way that they made it to work, and then we retract, and then we go back to where we are. And you know, that's the grand scheme of what's going on in the voting world. You know, that's what's happening, whatever they might call it. I mean, it's not just the voting, like they're getting rid of textbooks, you know, like they said, all of these things. So like you're rewriting history while you're like rewriting the Constitution to fit the history so that it all, you know, it all supports what you need, and that it's America, you know, that's what it is. I would say it's disgusting. I would say it's appalling. It's whatever it is. It's America, and America's working the way that America was set up to work. But you know, I think that we're inevitable at this point. Like we're unstoppable at this point. So, and that's why that's what they notice, and that's why they're squandering. That's why these things are happening. But they can't hold up, and they won't. So I am not as terrified as I feel like I should be. because I believe in us. So I think that's how I feel about it.
I love this. I think we should finish on this note. I believe in us, you just said.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So tell us again, when is the film being shown? It's on the 7th, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is this Saturday night at AMC Harlem Magic Johnson Theaters on 125th at 8 p.m. And a lot of us will be there, which will be really cool. Like, you know, I think Aristotle is coming, and I will be there, and someone will be there. Kara can't be there because she is out being a star. That's why she couldn't be here with us. She's just, man, that woman is taking over everything right now. She deserves everything. So we're sending her love. So she can't be with us, but yeah, we're gonna, you know, I think there'll be a decent amount of us. So come hang out and see the film and holler at us afterwards.
Wonderful. So congratulations for this, and my wish is
Thank
for
you so much.
a lot of more awards and recognition, and I'll probably see you Saturday.
Thank you so much. I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you, and thank you to our viewers. See you next Saturday, 12:30 at My Harlem Portraits. Bye-bye.